Welcome in, everybody. Ty Bartellin with another edition of Player Profile. This time we go into Akron Archbishop Hoban's volleyball team with their lone senior, Sophia Day. Sophia, how we doing? I think you just came home from a practice, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I just got home from practice not too
We
long
talk
ago.
about this season too. It's been crazy. Run me through those practices? What's one of those Coach Maloof practices like? Without obviously giving away too much. Are they intense? Are they fun? What are they like?
Yeah, well, we start off every practice with a prayer, just to get us like centered and focused for practice, and then we run laps, which is not our favorite, and everyone dreads those, but it really gets us like moving and stuff. Um, and then we usually work on our fundamentals, and then we go into like teamwork. So it'll be like 6-on-6, and we'll just do different drills like that.
You talk about volleyball as a sport. I'm curious where it started. I mean, we're entering your final high school year of volleyball, but when did the first year of volleyball start for Sophia Day? What's some of your earliest memories?
I just remember my sister playing, and it looked so fun. I went to all of her games. So then, like, my mom actually started like doing clinics at my middle or at my elementary school. Like, she would organize all of them, and then I just kept on playing, kept doing clinics, and then it just went on from there.
What's one of your best early memories in the sport too that is kind of like stuck with you? Do you have like one that kind of really made you fall in love with it and want to stick with it?
Um, I remember it was like one of my first tournaments where I was actually like staying overnight in a hotel and traveling. And I was with like some of my best friends that I grew up with, and I was on their team. And it was just so fun to be able to like stay in a hotel and like have this whole like weekend trip just to play volleyball, and just seeing like how proud my parents were after also like how I played and stuff. It was just like really rewarding, and like I just knew that I like kept wanting to do it.
That was the foundational grounds of your volleyball career. You
Yeah.
take that into high school now, and I mean, going from freshman year to senior year, what was it like first and foremost going into freshman year and experiencing the high school experience of volleyball and developing yourself into where you are now as a senior? Kind of reflect on that.
Um, Surprisingly, I had a lot of confidence going into high school. I thought I was really good. And I started my freshman year at Copley. I was actually, and then I transferred to Hoban my sophomore year. So at Copley, I really liked it. I um, played on JV and varsity, and I just remember um, going in to play the varsity games, and I was so excited. And it just like every time I went in for like 2 points of a varsity game, I would just have that drive in practice to be like, next game I'm gonna go in for 5 points, and I'm gonna show that like my coach that like I deserve to be in for more time, and it paid off, and I got to start at the end of the season.
You look at senior season now, and you're the lone senior, and that doesn't happen too often on a squad. Talk about prior to this season going in as the lone senior. Was it intimidating knowing that you were going to be kind of the one everyone's looking at, or did you kind of take it head on and we're ready for that experience?
I think at first it was pretty intimidating just because I was like, whoa, this is a lot of girls to manage. I need to like make sure that everyone knows the time to be on the bus and all this. Like I want to like I have to like let everyone know everything on my own, and that was kind of difficult for me at first. And after like the first week, I really just stepped into the role, and it just like I just like took over, and it was honestly like fun to just like be able to like help out and stuff.
Well, I mean, you took that leadership role and you're obviously excelling at it to some degree. I mean, you guys are what, 23-0 right now. You're on your way to a district semis. Looking at this season, I can't imagine you can ask for a better senior season. Was this anything in what you expected? I know there's a lot of lofty goals on this team, but could you have expected this prior to the season starting for you?
Well, we lost a lot of really good players, and I was really nervous about that. Also, I was really nervous because all of those seniors were my best friends. So I was really nervous going into the season, what it would look like, and how that would be without them. But honestly, like I've been having the best time, like becoming best friends with all of these girls. Like we have so much fun every day, And just that alone is like the best senior season I could have hoped for. And just all the winning on top of it just like makes it like so surreal and awesome.
This team in particular has so many different girls that can do so many different things really well. And I mean, you're at the top of the list in assists. You're over 430 right now on the season. You lead that team. What's it like being the centerpiece, the engine that kind of makes this offense go, having so many attackers to go to and kind of figuring out what they like, where they like it to? What's it like being the centerpiece of that offense?
Well, I really like it because I just feel like I understand how each player reacts to the ball and how they like it and how fast they like it. And I've just like really like become to know that with them. And I think that that just makes it so like such a well-oiled machine because every piece is like in place, like, and it's just like the chemistry is there with everything.
Obviously, you're not going to give away all the secrets to the team, but put into words what makes this team so successful in your opinion.
I think every single practice we are learning something new and we are getting better and we are growing our IQ for the game. Our coach, he really like drives in. He's like every practice he goes, this is IQ time, and he tells us like certain things to make us be able to go faster or like something that we've been struggling on. He always like knows what we need to work on and how we need to perfect it, and we take what we learned in that day of practice and we put it in the game, and it works out for us really well.
And I mean, you talk about all the games that it's worked out for you. Is there a favorite match that you've had this season, or one that stuck out to you as like a memory to put in the senior scrapbook, maybe?
I think the Marlington game was my favorite game because it was so like intense. I just remember the refs not really being on our side and everyone was all fired up, so there was a lot of like animosity with that. And then every point was so back and forth, or we would be down a few or they would be down a few and then the other team would catch back up, and you just like couldn't stay off, like you were just on the edge of your seat the whole time, and it was so fun to be in.
I mentioned prior to about you being the centerpiece of this offense, and I mean the growth you've had from beginning of your career to now, and I mean look at what you're doing now with the senior season on this team. What's some of the things you've looked at looking back over your career from freshman year into now? What's some of the biggest things you've grown on in your position of setter too, and some things maybe you would offer advice wise to some younger girls playing that setter position and what to look out for as they grow in that position?
I think growing my IQ was like the biggest part that changed my game. And like you can be a really good athlete, but adding the IQ and like knowing like who to set, like what plays to run on free balls and stuff, um, like knowing where to dump the ball, like just little things like that, really can like change your game completely.
You look at your volleyball career at high school too. What is it like outside of it? Is there a club volleyball too that we participate in? Or do you participate in anything, or do you kind of just chill after the high school season's over?
Well, usually I would play club, but this year, I'm not because I'm not going to play in college. So, but usually I played at Nova last year, and then every year before that, I played at ABC. So,
And I've talked to quite a few players that play at Nova, and it's quite an
yeah.
experience. What's that like? What was that experience like from your shoes, seeing that kind of competition and being able to play with it?
Going into Nova last year, I was so excited because I knew all the girls were local and they were really good. And it was really exciting to play with them because I grew a lot of friendships off that team that like literally every single game I go to, like I just like am so excited to see someone on the other side of the net because I've like played with them. Like I've played with girls from like so many different schools. And I think that at Nova, like there's such a family bond there, and it grows chemistry, and especially with girls on that were on my team at Nova, but they play at my school. And we would always practice with them, and that was really special for us too to be able to have a club season together and a high school season together.
You mentioned that not being participating in volleyball through college, so this is the last hurrah for you as far as official sports are concerned. I know, obviously, looking at the other players, they all play with their heart out and they leave it all on the floor. But I gotta feel like for you, knowing that now you're in tournament time, now every match,
Mhm.
every set could be that last one. Does that give you that extra kind of drive, that kind of energy going into these matches? That I mean, now you're playing for your playoff life.
Yeah, oh yeah. And it's like I've always said like when at my last club tournament in my last game, I was like, "Oh, well, I still have high school season." And now it's like here and it's just like crazy. And it like even like my last home game, me and my parents got super emotional because it was like, "Wow, this is crazy. Like this is actually it because like this is all I really have left."
A lot of the girls talk so highly of you though too, and your leadership for the team. So you've definitely left a footprint and a mark. You've served as a role model for them. Looking for you though, what has been some of your biggest role models inside and outside the sport?
I've played with some amazing setters. At Copley, I played with Audrey Keithley. She was a senior setter there. And then I played with Ellie Hardman at Hoban. And they were two incredible volleyball players, literally the best setters that I've seen, some of the best setters that I've seen in high school volleyball. And being able to play with them and see how they play and just like mimicking what they do in practice, like it just like made my game so much better, and having them to like as my role models and setting were just really good for me.
Are you a girl of routines for game day? Do you have like a whole game day routine, or do you kind of just like ad lib it, fly by the seat of your pants, just kind of whatever comes comes?
Um in the past years, I've kind of liked to just chill, listen to music and like close my mind down before games, but this year I find myself running around, make sure everyone's like in place, make sure everyone's at the court on time, like ready and like on schedule, like on the court when we need to be on the court, like shagging when we need to be shagging. So I think it's a little bit more hectic this year, but I still do like to like zone myself in before games and like just like really like focus my mind and like calm my mind because sometimes I can get like nervous, so I just like to focus myself before games.
You guys have had 23 wins this season. What's your favorite thing to do after a big win?
Um, well, after every single game that I've ever played, the first thing I always do is go and give my dad a hug. So that's how I always celebrate. And then I usually go home and my parent and as soon as I walk in the door, the game's already on the TV for my parents, and we go through it and we like get dinner or something at Chipotle usually.
I love it too. And I mean, for that routine for you to go and give your dad a hug too after every win, I mean, he's gotten 23 of them, so he's gotten quite a few this season. Is there a special bond there between you and your dad with this sport and outside the sport? What's that connection like with you and your dad?
Oh yeah, for sure. He from like when I've started to now, just like this is his first introduction to volleyball, and just seeing how like he's like become to like know the game and understand it better than some of the players actually understand it is like crazy. And just like seeing how much like he supports me and actually cares enough to like be so intense and like into it is like it just like means a lot to me.
Sophia, I mean, we're all rooting for you here at YSM. We love what you've been able to do with this team this season. But let's look ahead a little bit. What's the future plans after high school? This is senior season, but it's also senior year for you. So what's the future look like for Sophia Day?
So I'm planning to go to a school probably in Ohio, either maybe Miami or Ohio State. Not sure yet though. And then I think I want to major in architecture, and that's pretty much all I got for now.
Hey, with your drive and determination, I guess you could say the day is bright, right?
Yeah.
Looking at your season, though, I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better one. You are at the centerpiece of a very, very good volleyball team. I guess put a bow on this and just tell me some of your favorite memories of this season that you're going to hold and cherish forever.
Some of my favorite memories, well, senior night because I just felt so loved, and all the girls wrote me letters, and it made me so emotional just seeing how everyone, like, just everyone's words that they had to say. That was really fun. I won't forget that. Just our Walsh St. B games, those are very special to my heart. The Marlington game, that was a really competitive game. Yeah, those are my favorite memories.
Final thing for you, Sophia. We've been putting the spotlight on you, but I'm going to give you the chance to put the spotlight on anyone else. Give anyone else a shout out that's helped you along this journey or you feel like needs some recognition.
First off, my parents. They give me the most support in the world. All my coaches, especially Coach Maloof, he has changed who I am as a player completely just with how good he is as a coach. Mrs. Hardman, Ellie's mom, she would come up to me after every game and just give me a breakdown of things that I need to work on, and that made me a better player. All the girls I played with, Amber, Kath, Macy, Madison, Skylar, Mary, everyone, literally everyone on the team has meant so much to me and has like encouraged me and made me the player I am today.
Well, like we said with you, Sophia, it's been such a treat to watch you two. Such an honor to be able to cover you all season and watch this team become what it is. We're continuing to root for you, and we hope that you guys accomplish the goals that you set out since day one. And we'll be excited and cheering for you every step of the way. This has been another edition of Player Profile. This time with the lone senior of the Archbishop Hoban Knights volleyball team, the setter Sophia Day.